Five New England Patriots have decided to opt out of the 2020 NFL season. One of them, right tackle Marcus Cannon. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar. We've talked a lot about this offensive line and how they're actually pretty deep and how they're set up to be really good in this season. But the loss of Cannon is going to take a toll. Why do you think he made this decision to opt out?
Well, Cannon has really been leaning towards retirement basically all offseason. So this doesn't come as a major surprise. I think that he was sort of contemplating this all year, and now he can actually opt out under the high risk designation because of his history with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He actually recovered from cancer in 2011. So he is a high risk individual. So he's actually going to get paid $350,000 by the NFL for opting out this year instead of just retiring where he wouldn't have made any money. So obviously it makes a lot of sense for him to choose the opt-out designation. I think the biggest thing with Cannon is that, last year his play wasn't exactly up to par to where we're used to with him. He's probably on the decline at age 32. But with Dante Scarnecchia's departure or retirement here for the second time, the Patriots' continuity and returning that starting five whole with all those veteran players on it with experience in the NFL was really going to make that transition away from Scarnecchia to Carmen Bricillo and Cole Popovich much easier for the Patriots. So now they're going to have to throw an inexperienced player like Yodny Cajuste at right tackle or sign somebody off the street right now or trade for somebody to play right tackle for them this season that's going to have to get up to speed with the rest of the offensive line without the benefit of Scar there, tutelizing him, his fundamentals and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot more complicated, I would say, now that Scarnecchia is not in the building. I think if you had this news and Scar was still there, you'd probably say, okay, they'll plug in somebody and the beat will go on, so to speak. But I think now that continuity was extremely important, and whoever is under center, whether it's Cam Newton or Jared Stidham, they wanted that offensive line to be a strength of this team, and now it's a little bit of a question mark as well.
Yeah, definitely more understandable with these veteran players who have also already made their money making this decision to opt out. But you mentioned Yodny Cajuste. Do you think that the Patriots have the guy in-house to step right in and fill Marcus Cannon's role, or do you still think that they need to go out and sign someone?
Well, Yodny Cajuste was the guy that they drafted with this role in mind. He was going to be the heir apparent to Marcus Cannon at right tackle for the future, but maybe they just thought it was going to happen a year or two from now instead of in 2020. So it's a little bit more sudden, I think, than what they wanted. They especially wanted Cajuste, who sat out all of his rookie season with that quad injury, basically a redshirt year for him. They definitely wanted 1 year of in pads as a backup swing tackle type of position for him to learn the ropes from Cannon and Wynn and all the other guys before they had to thrust him into a starting role. But when you watch his tape at West Virginia, now granted, he did have a little bit of an injury history there as well, but when he was on the field, he was a top 50 prospect on my board just basically based off the tape. Really good upper body strength, hand power and usage, good feet for a tackle, can definitely play the position in slide and pass protection and mirror pass rushers. He's going to have a little bit of a transition from an air raid system to New England system, which is a little bit more of a traditional drop back passing game, but he definitely has all the physical tools and upside to be able to play this position. The question is does he have the experience and is he ready for this type of role? In terms of free agents, though, Sierra, it's really pretty slim pickings right now on the tackle market, which it usually is this time of year because teams truly are not just selling tackles, right? There's not a lot of them to go around, so it's not really a big viable position where there's guys just kind of available all the time. So I think that some of the names that you can look at, Adrian Waddle and Marshall Newhouse are two familiar names for Patriots fans, guys that have been here before, that have familiarity in the system, but maybe not necessarily the best guys that have ever come through here at that spot. So they wanted to upgrade it. I think DeMar Dotson, who played with Tampa Bay over the last couple of years, a big, strong right tackle guy that can really push guys off the line of scrimmage, which is exactly what they want at that spot. They had that with Cannon, and they had that tag team with Cannon and Shaq Mason that really moved people on that right side. Dotson could kind of fill that role as well as somebody that is truly a people mover and has a little bit more physicality at the point of attack, but he also has had some injury history and his health concerns, and we'll see if he is fully healthy for this year. But if I had to look at some of the available options, I'd say DeMar Dotson's at the top of the list. Cordy Glenn's also out there. He's a veteran that's bounced around the league, who's had some success before, and then obviously the two guys that have been linked to the Patriots in the past and have been here in Foxborough.
Patriots Twitter, not a fan of Marshall Newhouse, but we'll see what happens.
Listen, he's not as bad as people thought. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was pretty. I'm not going to sit here and say that he was good, but he wasn't as much of a disaster. It's just the drop off from him to win and the drop off from what we're used to seeing with the Patriots offensive line to Newhouse last year. It felt like a complete catastrophe when in reality he was, maybe the 30th best left tackle in the league, which, isn't great, but it's still not the worst.
Looking at the bright side, that's always good. This segment has been brought to you by Masterclass. Get unlimited access to every Masterclass. As a Press Pass listener, you can get 15% off the annual All Access Pass. Just go to masterclass.com/CLNS. For all of our Patriots content, find it on our website at clnsmedia.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Patriots Press Pass.